of class 10. So this is my third video with you, and in my previous two videos I was doing the poem The Light of the Other Days by Thomas Moore. I explained the poem, and I told you I was supposed to do another video, and have decided this video I'll do on figures of speech. See, figures of speech, because figures of speech, or we can also say poetic device or literary devices, which are used in a poem or in a story or whatever by the author for some purpose. So in this poem, The Light of the Other Days, also the poet Thomas Moore, he has used figures of speech in the two stanzas. And so you need to know those figures of speech. What is figures of speech? What are the different figures of speech? And what are the figures of speech that are used in the poem? So let us proceed with this. First, what is a figures of speech? Figures of speech is a word or phrase that is used to create an effect, or to heighten, or to give a heightened effect, to add color, interest, or to awaken the imagination of readers. So the purpose of using figures of speech, or we can also say poetic devices. Poetic devices means poetic. Why poetic? Because the poets are using some devices, some literary speeches or figures of speech in the poem. Why? Why do they use that? They use it to create an effect. Suppose to give a more heightened effect, to give a more heightened meaning to a simple word. He is comparing a simple word to another thing to give it a more bright effect. So it is used, figures of speech is used to add color. To add color to a dull, boring thing, to add color to a dull, boring word, to make that word or to make that poem little bit more interesting. For that purpose, poetic devices or figures of speech is used, and also it awakens the imagination of readers. So by using these figures of speeches or literary devices, the imagination of readers are awakened, and they can go, or they can delve into the depth of any poem or any story. So that is the purpose of figures of speech or poetic device, I can say, as the poet, since the poet is using, that is why it is called poetic devices. That is why it is also called poetic devices. Devices means what? It's a kind of instrument, but here it is not an instrument. Here poetic devices is, it's a word or a phrase which is used to give a heightened effect. So I hope this is clear, the definition of figures of speech and why it is used. So now let us go to the poem, that is The Light of the Other Days, and let us see that what figures of speech are used in this poem. So in the first stanza, the light of other days, first stanza is often in the stilly night, or slumber's chain has bound me. So here, often in the stilly night. So throughout the poem, there are many figures of speech that are used in the poem. So first, let us discuss one of the figures of speech, that is transferred epithet. So before I discuss transferred epithet, you should know there are many types of figures of speech like simile, personification, oxymoron, paradox, transferred epithet. So these are all different types of figures of speeches which are used in any poem. So here transferred epithet is used. So what is transferred epithet? Let me just write it down, the definition of transferred epithet. So I'm not writing. If you want, you can write it down, that there are many kinds of figures of speech. For example, simile, paradox, personification, metaphor. So today we will discuss transferred epithet. Now what is transferred epithet? E-P-I-T-H-E-T. Transferred, I guess you can understand the meaning of the English word. Transferred means what? Transfer means what? To transfer something to another place. For example, if we transfer a thing to another place, so here we are not transferring a thing to another place, but we are transferring one meaning to another meaning, or we are transferring, yes, like that. So transferred epithet. Epithet means adjective. So what is the meaning of epithet? Epithet means adjective. So transferred epithet means, let us know the definition. If you want, you can write it down, the definition on your book. That is, a transferred epithet is an adjective. A transferred epithet is an adjective where the adjective is transferred. Where the adjective is transferred. T-R-A-N-S-F-E-R-E-D. Where the adjective is transferred from its proper word, from its P-R-O-P-E-R, from its proper word W-O-R-D, to another that is associated with it. That is associated with it. So I am just dictating it again. So transferred epithet is an adjective where the adjective is transferred from its proper word to another word that is associated with it. So this is the definition of transferred epithet. So basically transferred epithet is what? It is transferring the meaning of one word. It is transferring the meaning to one word to another word. So here in the poem, often in the stilly night. So stilly night, I'm rubbing the board. Stilly night, there are three transferred epithets used in the poem. That is, one is stilly night, another one is cheerful heart, another one is wintry weather. So number one is stilly night in the first line. Stilly night. Number two is wintry weather, which is there in the second stanza. Wintry weather. And in the third stanza you have, in the second stanza you have, second stanza you have cheerful heart. C-H-E-E-R-F-U-L, cheerful heart. And in the third stanza you have wintry weather. So these are the three transferred epithets or three figures of speech that are used in the poem The Light of the Other Days. So how do you know stilly night is a transferred epithet? How? Let us discuss. So stilly night. Night is what? Night is the noun. Hot is noun and weather is noun. N-O-U-N. These are all noun. And stilly, cheerful and wintry, these are all adjective. Adjective, adjective. So what is happening? So the night has been qualified by the adjective still. So here the noun night is qualified. So here the noun night, it is qualified by the adjective stilly. What kind of night? Stilly night. It was a still, peaceful, calm night. So the night has been qualified by the adjective stilly. Similarly in the second word, cheerful heart. Heart is the noun. So the heart noun has been qualified by the adjective heart. What kind of heart? It was a cheerful, happy heart. And in the third, wintry weather. Weather is the noun. And what kind of weather? It's a wintry weather. Adjective. So it is, the weather noun is qualified by the adjective wintry. So transferred epithet is an adjective or it is used to qualify a noun. So this adjective, the meaning of this adjective, it is transferred to the noun. So that is why it is called transferred epithet, which is a modifier that is used to qualify a noun. This is in more simpler term the definition of transferred epithet. So these are the three figures of speech, that is transferred epithet, which are used in the poem Stilly Night, Cheerful Heart and Wintry Weather. So I hope the definition of figures of speech what is figures of speech, why it is used by the authors or poets, then what is transferred epithet, and what are the transferred epithet in the what are the transferred epithets that are used in the poem. I hope these three are clear. So in my next video, I'll again describe another figures of speech that is used in the second stanza of the poem. So till then, bye, take care, and thank you.